Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely Stream Deck. For more information about the Stream Deck, the link is in the description below. Good evening, everybody, and welcome along to Apex Online Racing. This is Season 20 of Xbox One F1, and we are here at round number 8 at the Baku City Circuit. Yes, we're in Europe just for a little bit longer here tonight as we begin our AOR action once again after our break week. It's the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and it's located right in the heart of the city, close to the main promenade on the Caspian Sea. Let's have a look at the track in a second before we go to the main race action. 20 corners at 3.7 miles long, which winds its way in between the buildings and through the old part of the city. 2 DRS zones here, one at the start, finish straight, and one just at the start of turn 2. By the time they get through into turn 1, speeds go up to 210 miles per hour. The circuit is very challenging, but we'll go through that in a minute. 3 compounds of tyres used for today's race, which is going to be the C4s, the C3s, and the C2s, with the delta being 1.2 seconds slower than the softs if you're on the mediums, and for the hards 1.8 seconds slower as well. And for the softs, you've got to get out of those pretty quickly because they do not last very long. So without further ado, let's get jumping in to the race action here at Xbox One F1, and I was trying to unmute the action, and there we go, I've unmuted the action there, so that is good news. So we got 14 drivers tonight, which is a lot better than nothing, I guess, but we are still here. I'm sure it's going to be guaranteed race action for you nonetheless. So we got one reserve driver here tonight. We got Hawk, who is in the Williams tonight. He said he wanted to be in a Williams, so there we go. But apart from that, everybody else who I think we saw in Monaco is here, apart from I think Squishy Panda. She couldn't make Monaco, but she's back here tonight, which is great to see. And Monaco definitely threw some interesting challenges for the drivers, and obviously penalties came into fruition, and we saw Humperdinck, the championship leader, get his first win after penalties got removed, obviously because there was a few questionable penalties from the safety car, and that meant Humperdinck got his removed, and therefore he's a race winner for a change. Unfortunately, it wasn't caught on stream that he was a race winner, but at least he got to taste the champagne for a little bit. It is obviously better than nothing, I've got to say. So, as he makes his way through the windy parts of the city at the moment, you're just going past turn 7 and then heading into the start of sector 2. Going into turn 8 and turn 9. Very, very tricky to get right. And now you're going to be heading towards the infamous castle section. But it can't be underestimated. The right line jolts up to the left, but don't cut it too much. Otherwise, you will get a penalty. This is technically effectively a chicane coming up around here, going in towards turn 11 and turn 12. But there's some elements where you don't really treat it as chicane. Go through turn 15 and into turn 16 now, going into the start of sector 3 here. Humperdinck sector 2, not doing too bad as you just go past the Fanatec sign, as it were. And it's a very, very long straight. You're going to be going almost at 200 miles per hour here, even higher in these cars potentially if you get it right. So here we go then, going towards the final corner. What lap time is he going to set here tonight? And it's going to be a 1:38.776, as he is in 4th place at the moment. On pole position is Bobbert with a 1:38.0, but expect lap times to be a lot faster than that, but there are just banker times, so do watch out for these guys. I will have a look at the championship standings as of Monaco, because it's been a while since the drivers were racing. So Humperdinck was in your championship leader with 108 points. Not far off though is SSR Bobberts, who's currently on top of the timing sheet at the moment. 7 points separates them. Bobberts was leading the championship for a lot of this season, but he only got P8 in Monaco a few weeks ago, so that's why he jumped down a bit. But expect him to do well here. He likes the track, but not making mistakes like that, as he had a bit of a front wing damage and he's invalidated his lap. Luckily, it is in lap though. AMS Tom got 3rd place in the standings right now. He got P2. He did get the win on track though, but due to the penalties, he got demoted to P2. LGS in 4th place. Jonah in 5th place. Alfio in 6th. Alex Daegu in 7th place. Scory Roll, she's in 8th, which is Squishy Panda. King Cod in 9th. Amazing 10th. And then we got the Ferrari that's not here tonight in 11th. We've got Jakey B, who is not here tonight, in 12th. We've got Jam Pancakes, who's not here tonight either, in 13th. John Pat 183, who is 13th in the qualifying, but P14 in the standings right now. He's on 10 points. GC is, VRC GC is on 7 points. KC with 2 points after his points in Spain. And we got Zazala, JJ Rock and Delta yet to score. And I don't think any of those guys are here tonight though. So a bit of a shame, but the fact that there's only less drivers here, there's more chance for people to score points. And there is quite a lot of action zones, I've got to say, around this track. It features both tight 90-degree corners, which is pretty much famous with street circuits nowadays. And you see the longest flat-out section on the calendar, which sometimes if you do mess it up and you don't go smooth on the wheel, then it does definitely cost you. And setups is quite difficult to manage here as well. I was doing a lot of work with my team around Baku, and I did spend quite a lot of time just getting your setup right. You just don't, if you don't have a setup around here, you can cost probably about 5 or 6 tenths a lap, which in anyone's league racing standards is quite a lot. So, you know, it does take a while. And the slightest mistakes, just like Monaco, is punished, especially around the castle section. And these guys have got to be forced to either choose between downforce for the twisty bits and less drag for the straight. So if anyone gets this set up right here tonight, then it's really going to be benefiting them come the race itself. Now, Casey has spoken to me in the race. He's been very much looking forward to the race here tonight. And he's been hoping that quite a few people make some mistakes so he can get a few points. And he's there to pick up the pieces in some races, which is really, really good to see. There was quite a lot of races where he got really, really unlucky. He got a DNF in Monaco. He also got a DNF in Zandvoort, China and Vietnam. But he got P11 and P12 in Australia and Bahrain. So he's going to forget what happened in Monaco, which is quite similar to this track. And he's probably learned from his mistakes and he's thinking, right, where am I going to gain this few extra attempts at the moment? And he's in a Ferrari, of course. The Ferrari don't tend to do too well in real life, but we are going to hope they do well in this tier at least as well, because there's going to be quite a lot of Tifosi at home cheering them on, of course. And quite a lot of people want to climb up their way in the championship standing, so something to keep a close eye on. The gap between Jonah and LGS, they're pretty much on the same points, but due to the fact LGS has been scoring consistently compared to Jonah, then Jonah is a little bit further behind. But in qualifying, Jonah has set the fastest lap at the moment, but by a 10th. So that is insane. So watch out for that battle between these two come the race, to be honest, because we've seen quite a few battles between these two as well. I know I keep repeating myself, but who cares? Jonah, the number 66 car. He likes that number 66 car. I think it's just his lucky number. LGS, I can't remember what number he is showing, but hopefully his lucky number goes and proves him good value here tonight in 5th place. The championship leader, though, in 6th, but he's the one who likes to be there in the middle and pick up on any people that make a mistake. So if he starts 6th at the moment, it's not going to be too bad. Looking at the tyre choices for qualifying, everybody except KC is on the medium compound tyres. So KC tyre choice is suggesting to me that it's going to be a dry start to this race. But the drivers don't usually tell me about the weather. Usually they like to keep it under wraps from me, and I like that. It's a bit of a surprise for me, and it's a bit of a surprise for the viewers as well, as Humperdinck goes down the downhill section of turn 14, heading towards the little kink of turn 15, coming up really, really soon. There he goes, and into the downhill section of turn 16, coming up right now. So there he goes then, as he goes off a common place around there, just at the start of sector 3, to invalidate your lap time. So we will have to go out again really, really soon, because it's a bit of a shame, because his lap time before his invalidation did look really, really good. But hopefully he has enough soft tyres to last. But I'm guessing because he doesn't have enough soft tyres, he is going to go out again. But he's going to watch out for his ERS, because his ERS was around about 30% as well. But I think he's pretty confident that he could gain some time without ERS, but he would be slower, and I'm guessing he's going to go into the pits. I'm guessing he didn't check the map to see if he invalidated or not, so that's probably why that he's gone out again, or maybe he'll be going out for one final stint. But it's going to be an indication that that will probably be his final lap, because I find out on this game, if you leave it too late to set your second to last lap, it's going to cost you in your final qualifying run. You're going to lose so much time, and everybody else is going to be faster. The track's going to evolve. Everyone else is probably going to put less fuel on you. So, but Humperdinck does like having loads of challenges, I can tell you that. As Humperdinck almost got caught out by the guy that was out on the track as well. I'm not quite sure who it was. I think it is a Haas car. So again, I'll double check that, as Roberts unfortunately has retired from the session, so he's going to start no higher than 2nd place. At the moment on pole position is AMS Tom in the Racing Point, and if he wants to close up to the likes of Humperdinck and Roberts, he really needs to get some wins under his belt. Ideally, he wants to get the wins on track, but he is confident, he did say to me in the chat earlier on as well. So he is a contender, of course. Don't forget, he got pole position in Australia, and he's looking to get another one pretty soon as well. And unfortunately, we're getting the rev glitch from the Racing Point, so we will have to follow someone else. I think the only one that's on a hour lap at the moment is Hawk and John Pat. We got quite a few people going in and to the pits. Alfio has just crossed the line, and I do believe he's just finished his lap time. So that is a 1:38.8 for him, which puts him in P8. Let us know your predictions in the chat, and also you can get involved on Twitter by using the hashtag AOR Hype as well. I will be checking that quite a bit during the race as well. Alfio, though, has been looking quite good in some races in the Alfa Romeo. In real life, the Alfa Romeo is not looking good in qualifying, but always proved to show themselves brilliantly in the race. He got a P7 in Monaco, same as he did in Spain. So it just goes to show the consistency is key, and he wants to keep up that consistency. The only time where he did not finish was in China, where he got a DNF. Everything else, every other result, he finished inside the top 10. Can he keep up that string of results tonight as he makes his way, as he bins the wall? As I think quite a lot of people could do that potentially tonight, but don't worry, he still has a few more attempts. He's probably going to go into the pits for a fresh front wing, and then he can go again for one more time. He will have time to do that. We've got Tom, Jonah, LGS, Humperdinck, GC and Squishy Panda in the pits. We also got Amazed, KC and Alex Daegu also in the pits, or in their outlaps as well. So Amazed just going past towards the end of sector 2, KC just before the castle section, and Alex Daegu going into the castle section as well. KC sticking to his guns right now, and he's going for the medium compounded tyres. What would you do if you were in the driver's situation on what tyre you would stick on your car for Baku? Don't forget, the softs only last 8 laps around here. After that, it is puncher territory, so potentially soft to hards will be the way for these guys to go today. But on this game, the alternate strategy can be quite OP at times, and in a way I do not know what to think about that. I kind of don't like it. I kind of want things to go by merit, but again, in a way, there was also a different side. I could see both sides to it as well. There's people on the alternate strategy that could manage their tyres a bit better and obviously improve just as well. John Bapp in third position. Really, really good lap from him, a 1:38.3. Just invalidated his lap though, so you will have time to go out for one final lap though. Alfio, I don't think, will go out again. Oh, as John has had a really weird flip there. That was probably the weirdest flip I've ever seen in my life. So that's him out of the session. I did say he was going to go out again, but unfortunately, that was a commentator's curse there as well. Luckily, Alfio managed to go out again and go on his out lap, and he's going to have time for one final lap, so thank goodness for him. We got Amazed as well, which unfortunately hasn't improved yet. He's gone past a little bit of traffic as well. And we do see a little bit of lagging from Tom's end. Hopefully it's not my end, but maybe because with internet connections, it can be a bit of an issue for the drivers to manage. It was around Belgium where, for some reason, my internet connection was absolutely fine before and after the first safety car. But during the first safety car, there was people lagging for me, and people told me it was me. But luckily it sorted itself out after that. So, Amaze is going to get a little bit of a tow from Tom right now, but I doubt Tom is going to move out of the way as Tom is on a lap right now, as Tom has just set a 1:37.875, 5/10 quicker than his previous best. Unfortunately, the time is not popping up on the bottom of your screen, so we just got to make do at this moment in time, as we got 10 seconds to go of the session. It's calm before the storm. Final laps are approaching, and we are waiting for the final people to set the lap. The first person to cross the line will be KC in the Ferrari, but unfortunately he makes his way into the pit lane. Next also we've got, I thought we had a Haas car, but he's going through sector 1 now. And Alex Daegu has retired from the session. So it's going to be a bit of a while before everybody else crosses the line. Alfio is a little bit behind compared to his teammate. And we've got Jonah coming towards the castle section. And we've got McLaren actually that's about to cross the line. So let's go and stay on board with him. The lovely rainbow livery to remember the Black Lives Matter that happened as well. And also Black History Month as well, which was a really good celebration. Let's see what LGS can do. And he's going to take the shortest run to the line. What lap time is he going to get? Is a 1:38.4. Puts him in 4th place. Next cross the line would be the Williams. Unfortunately, I don't think the Williams can do any better as well. Then we got the other Alfa Romeo of Jonah, I think. Yes, it is Jonah, as he's going to go full power, almost at 210 miles per hour then. Can he snatch pole? He got purple final sector though, so it's very, very impressive. So we'll have to wait and see how he can find time in the first and second sector in the future. JC can't improve on pole position. He goes into 6th place. Humperdinck can only manage 7th. So all that's left to do is for Alfio to come across the line, and he goes into 8th place. So that is it for qualifying then. And AMS Tom gets another pole position to add to his list for the 1:37.875. 0.8. And looking at the times, I was going to look at the gaps there, but unfortunately the times did go there pretty quickly. But it's great to see that the drivers did advance really, really quickly so we can get this race underway. So, 1/10 of a second separating between AMS Tom and SSR Boberts. Jonah in third place, John Pat in fourth. His lap time was still good enough for that place. I'm sure he'll be pretty happy with that nonetheless. LGS in fifth, GC in sixth, Humperdinck in seventh position, Alfio in eighth, Squishy Panda in ninth place. Then we got KC that rounds up your top 10. Then we got Alex Dagu in 11th, King Kont in 12th, Hawk in 13th, and Amazed down in last place. Two people actually got disqualified there, unfortunately, due to the fact that the UI didn't show that. I wasn't able to point it out on stream. But we're about to get underway for some racing then. PS4 F1, if you're watching that, it took quite a long time for people to get damage. I think it was around about lap 8, lap 9 it was. So I wonder if these guys are going to keep it clean today. I hope we do as well, because the first few laps around Monaco a few weeks ago was just getting a little bit intense, just to say the least, but it just makes it a little bit more exciting. Now, quite a few guys in the chat saying that, well, in the Xbox One Tier 1 chat, saying that if they finish is a win, but history has shown, in most leagues actually I've commentated around Baku, if you do finish, you will weep. You will get the rewards. Not weep the rewards, get the rewards, I should say, right now. So, and for some people, they may think it's fine to start at the back. Maybe some people have started at the back on purpose so they can avoid the carnage up front, so they can make their way through the field. But anyway, we're about to get onto the grid, and there we are. All 14 cars are lining up, ready to start their formation lap, as I do get the details up on my screen. No classic cars this week, but I'll try to get one sorted for next week for you. I'll need to find out which one I can actually use. So looking at the tyre strategies at this moment, obviously the top 10 will have to start on the tyres that they set their fastest lap on, which for the top 9 is the soft compound tyres, and for KC, he opted for the mediums. Our people outside the top 10, we've got Alex Dagu, Hawk, and King Kont on the mediums, with Amaze the only one on the hard compound tyres. Well, hards, it's not surprising for Amaze. He's the one that likes the alternate strategy. Remember USA, he did that and it worked a treat for him. So I wonder if he's learned from that and say, hey, I think I can make that work here today. 26 laps await our drivers here today. The fastest race lap record was set by Charles Leclerc in 2019 at 143.009. I think records are definitely going to be broken here in Baku in terms of race lap times. I can tell you that. And watch out for the people. I think watch out for Amaze as well. See if he can get even closer to that. I think he will. We'll just have to wait and see. So, turn 1 and 2, don't forget, they are the first of many 90 degree corners in Baku. And there's also one of the tracks as well where the DRS follows after each other. One example I can think of where another circuit does that is Germany in Hockenheim. But unfortunately, Hockenheim is not in this game, which I kind of wish they were. And I kind of wish Algarve is on this game as well, but obviously they don't have enough time. This is based on the original 2020 calendar, pre-COVID, of course. And for those of you that just joined us, welcome to Xbox One F1. This is season 20, and we're at round 8 at the Baku City Circuit for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And I'm going to be delivering the action. I'm Jess 95. Hopefully you got your dinner ready, maybe. You have time to go to the toilet. Get yourself a drink, maybe. Because time is up now. We are almost ready to get started. I'm excited now, and I hope you are excited as well. The track is very windy. It's going to be very tricky for the drivers. Not the grinders. What are you on about? The drivers. And I'm probably going to not get away with that. But anyway, we are about to get started really, really soon, hopefully. And there was a very long hold at the moment. 5 red lights. And we are underway here at Azerbaijan. And it looks like it's a pretty decent start from Tom as well. A lot of people trying to make moves very early on into this race. Also a really good start from a GC as well. But we got a collision from the Williams and the Red Bull at the back as well. Quite a few people trying to avoid the walls there. But again, very, very tricky indeed as well. Humperdinck making his way past John as well. Going side by side as well. LGS and Alfio making their way through the field as well. Going past turn 4 then. And then heading towards the swooping little corners of turn 5 and 6. Let's see what Alfio can do. Alfio dropping down a little bit. But again, it's not where you start. It's where you finish. You don't get points for lap 1. So far, most people keeping it clean apart from King Kont and Haunt, which is, I think, one of the 2 that got involved in the damage, unfortunately. So, fingers crossed that they can have a better race from then on. They need to forget about what happened at the start and concentrate on the rest of this race. Tom managing to bring the gap up to 0.8 of a second. Almost out of DRS range. Don't forget the DRS starts to enable at lap 3. So Tom needs to concentrate on trying to bring the gap up so Bobbers doesn't get in the DRS range. And someone has, I think, just scraped the wall there. I didn't see who it was, but quite a few people really, really close to each other at the moment as GC goes into the pits there. I think that was a front wing change by the looks of things. I think quite a lot of people are getting some front wing change. We've got John Papp, Amaze, King Kont, and I think Hawk is going to do the same. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people are going in to the pit lane. What a shame for them. But they still got quite a while to get through the field. That leaves Bobbert in the lead. And I don't know what happened to Tom. I think Tom must have lost it somewhere. I think towards turn 3 and 4. Just after the DRS range. Actually, no, it's not. It's a glitch for me. I thought Tom lost it there, and I thought Bobbert was in the lead. But no, Tom is still in the lead. And there's your predicted pit stop strategy. I would say people who would want to do the undercut will potentially go in lap 6 and lap 7. That's what I would do anyway in this race, and that is something for people to consider. Maybe the likes of Humperdinck will be the ones that will go for the undercut if he gets stuck behind Jonah for the remainder of his soft stint. And I think Daegu will be doing the same, Casey as well, but they're on the medium compounder tyres. The mediums can stretch out a bit longer, and the ones on the mediums, they'll be going on to the hard tyres. So they won't be touching the softs at all. They can't do a medium to soft strategy. It just won't work for these drivers. You wouldn't want to touch the softs at all if you started on the mediums, as Tom has set the fastest lap of this race with a 1:43.085 as DRS has been enabled. So if you are within 1 second of the car behind, then you are allowed to use your DRS, just like Humperdinck is doing at this moment in time. Not much ERS usage to use right now. He's on 50%, just about halfway, but he's looking to save it in the corners if I was him. But one's in danger of using a lot of ERS. It's got to be Squishy Panda and Alex Daegu, as well as LGS as well. LGS must be in a lot of pressure as well, but LGS is trying to close up to the back of Alfio 2. I wonder which setup is geared towards the less drag on the straights, because we are going to see which ones can do that as they all go just past the castle section. I think most people went through the castle section, I think, pretty much unscathed. So a bit of a relief for me and a bit of a relief for the drivers, as Daegu is just going past turn, just past the kick-off turn 15. Can't quite get the lunge to find attempts to Squishy Panda. Squishy Panda doing quite well. And I'm going to see which people have gained the most positions so far. So we got Humperdinck that's gained 3 positions, as we got Hawk that is out of this race. And let me just go on board with Amazed. I think it was just, at the runoff area, but it is impossible to tell. Unfortunately, I can't go on board with them as his car is gone, but we are under VSC conditions. You still have to keep under Delta, but for the guys like, I think, John Bapp, they would have hoped for a full safety car. People taking advantage of the VSC are Alfio, LGS, Squishy Panda and KC. And I'm just going to see if any of those changes were for front wing damage. So let me have a look at Race Director in pit stops. And the only one that was for front wing damage was KC. Because I was going to question on why KC pitted this early on, but it was for front wing change. I don't think the Hards could make it to the end, actually. He pitted exactly the same time. Whereas Alfio and Squishy Panda going for the undercut at the most perfect opportunity. In a normal pit stop, you would be losing quite more time. But on a VSC, you'll be losing less time. So something to keep an eye on in this race. Fastest lap currently set by Tom at this moment in time. The one that gained lost the most was John Papp. He's dropped down 6 positions, but he is currently in the points. And points mean everything in Xbox One F1 here at Apex Online Racing. And John Papp is going to do all he can to try and close in on GC, on his fresh set of hards. Because there's quite a few people that still haven't pitted yet, and that's not good. As John Papp grazed the wall, he lost a bit of his end plate. I think he lost more than his end plate. Actually, he's got to lose a lot of downforce, I think, in the corners, which I think is where you need it most. And in a normal 25% race, I think you could get away with it. But with a 50% race, you can't. So John Papp will have to go into the pit again. Meanwhile, we got a battle between LGS and Alfio. I've been hyping about the Alphas and the McLaren battles all race. And this is going to really start to spice up. LGS holding on for now. So good defensive work from him as well. The 2 Alfa Romeos working really hard. One of the Alphas actually is in 3rd position. And I think the constructors are going to be looking pretty good for the 2 Alpha boys. Both of them currently 5th and 6th in the standings. And if you have teammates that are on similar pace, it's really going to help you in this championship. And you can't just rely on one driver for the constructors. You've really got to rely on your other teammate as well. If your teammate does not score points, it may come to you. It come back to bite you. As Alex Daegu has left the session, which is quite unfortunate. I think it either might be a disconnect or it might be the glitch where the game disconnects him, which is unfortunate. So hopefully he can join back pretty soon. Hopefully allow the game to take control. Alfio losing a bit of time on the straight. And as you can see, the corners is where he is gaining. So I think he's put a little bit more downforce to his wing there. So that's really going to help him. And LGS is definitely going to benefit from the straight line speed more. Meanwhile, his teammate Alfio of Jonah goes into the pits for the hard compounded tyres. Bobbert and Jonah going for the undercut on Tom. Tom Humperdinck deciding to stay out at this moment in time. Obviously Humperdinck with less traffic at the moment, so... But again, the undercut is so powerful on this game. Is it a no-brainer to pit? You never know. But the danger is Jonah is going to be worried. He's got a lot of traffic to get past. He's got Squishy Panda right in front. Alfio as well, his teammate. Maybe Alfio may be playing a little bit of team games. Maybe he'll be trying his best to hold up the likes of Squishy Panda, the likes of LGS. So that could be very, very interesting. LGS, I think, is going to be worried that the teammates are working together, but he's going to be happy that his teammate is scoring some good points out there. So I think it looks like at this moment, it will be, I think, a straight fight for McLaren and Alfa Romeo in the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes, I think, potentially will be as well. And obviously, the other teams as well. Maybe Racing Point can come up there as well. Tom is on 87 points. 14 points behind Bobbett. 21 points behind the Humperdinck. So how many points can he gain in this race? As he had to respond to that. If he did not respond to that, he was going to lose so much time. He goes into the pit lane. And what tyres does he fit on? He goes on to, let me have a look. He goes on to the hards. And that strongly suggests it's going to be dry all the way through. Bobbett stays out. Humperdinck stays in the pits and onto the hard tyres as well. And Tom gets ahead of Bobbett in the pit lane. So, unfortunately, due to the gaps, Tom was managing to get ahead of them. Imagine what it would have been like. But Bobbett's 7/10. So, Bobbett has brought the gap down just a little bit. So, never say never. As he's right behind Tom, actually. This could be very, very intense. Imagine if these two people are battling for the championship in Abu Dhabi or even Brazil. So we could see this for a long time to come. Maybe Bobbett is just waiting for Tom to either claim a penalty or make a mistake. Because like we've seen in Monaco, penalties can be a deciding factor between some of these guys. And you do not want to be that. And Tom almost making a mistake there. So I think Bobbett's gained quite a few attempts, I think, in that final sector. And it's going to come back to bite Tom. Bobbett is going to gain. He's got a better entry speed into the start-finish straight. Overtake button engaged. DRS button engaged. Very, very quickly. Bobbett goes to the left-hand side. They go side by side into turn one. There was no response there for Tom. He tried to defend for his life, but unfortunately, P3 on track remains to be Tom's. But Tom does have the DRS then. Going in to turns, well, potentially turn 4 and 5. Oh, 3 and 4, sorry. And there they go. Tom stays, pretty much goes back ahead of Bobbett. So I think it's going to be a ding-dong battle between these two. And I think the more that they keep battling in this race, the likes of his teammate LGS is going to catch up. So maybe Bobbett is doing it in a way to reel LGS in. So you never know with these McLaren teammates what they can do. Unfortunately, the Deltas have disappeared, and unfortunately I've disconnected from the session. So I'm going to have to get a new invite. Hopefully I've got some spare invites, which I don't. So hopefully people that are still in the session could get me an invite. So I'm going to do that right now. So hopefully I'll get some as well. So I'm going to ask them, so do not worry. And I think the battle between Bobbett and Tom, I think more positions are going to be switched. But if it comes to the last lap of the race, if it comes down to that, will we see positions switch again? Will we see people wanting to be in the DRS so you can slingshot past? You never know. So I am just trying to get in the session once again, so just bear with for this moment in time. I do apologise about that. I'm just hoping to get a invite, or I could join maybe of someone who is in the lobby. So maybe, I think for maybe John Pat maybe. But no, I think I could only join party, but I do not want to join party. So unfortunately, the game is having a bit of issues for me, as the game is trying to get me back in, which is very, very weird. So hopefully we can get back the action. Sorry about the technical difficulties, but we are going to see more people go onto the hard compounded tyres very, very soon. So do watch out. What will the medium runners do as well? That is the question. Will all the mediums do for the undercut? We'll have to find out pretty soon as well. And it's not liking me at the moment, so what I'm going to do is going to be quitting the game at this moment in time. And luckily, I've got an invite into the session. Somebody did go into the pit lane. So here we go. Hopefully we can go back in at some point. Now, the ones on the hard tyres. The hard tyres can only last 20 laps. And there was a few people on those softs that did pit really early, around about lap 4 and 5. That is danger territory. They've got to do a lot of saving towards the middle part of the race, and that is where they can really start to push at the end. So, but if you're in that traffic, the tyres are going to start to overheat. So it's just finding the right balance in a way, as well as hopefully I could get back in. So I'm going to load into the game. Luckily, I've got 2 spare invites, so I'm going to try one of them at this moment in time. I think Alex Daegu had the same problem, but luckily Alex Daegu did rejoin the session, so I think he's taken in control of his car. So I'm just going to spectate the race, and once I'm in the session, and hopefully if I do get back in the session properly, as soon as it's stable, I will bring you back the action pretty soon. For the medium runners, the mediums will be able to last 16 laps. So watch out for the medium runners going into the pits very, very soon as well. So we're keeping our fingers crossed, chat. We're going to get a little bit of touch wood, to say the least, to see if we can join back in. And unfortunately, Alex has retired from the session. I think he is, unfortunately, I'm not sure he retired on the pit lane. I don't know. So I think we are back in the session completely. So that is good news. So let us change scenes once again. And here we are back for some more Apex Online Racing action. And we got more people, quite a few people, that did actually pit from the mediums, as GC has opted for the medium compounded tyres. So I wonder what tyre he actually started on if I have a look at his data. So he went on softs, then he went to hards and then medium. So he's used every compound tyre available at this moment in time. Front wing damage, and so was John Pap on lap 9 as well. John Pap has left the session as well. So I think this lobby is having a bit of issues at the moment, because it's not just me that kept leaving the lobby. It was, I think, John Pap as well. So hopefully, again, it should be sorted out very, very soon. But anyway, Bobbert and Tom keep exchanging positions. And whilst I was trying to get back into the session, Bobbert has taken your race lead. So here we go, going into the downhill section. In particular, if you're in a battle like this, you've got to brake extremely early. Tom has got really good ERS usage. Bobbert's the same as well, so they're pretty much on even pace. So if I was Bobbert's, defend with your overtake button. You're got to have enough to last, because Tom is going to be gaining on you. Unfortunately, I can't go on board with Tom because of the rev glitch. But there we go. In 8th gear now. Going at almost 210 miles per hour. Bobbert staying ahead at this moment in time. Tom just wants to be at the mercy of the DRS for a moment longer. So there goes Tom into turn 2, into turn 3. And this is going to be an almighty send if he gets that move right. Now going towards turn 4 and heading towards turn 5. Still within touching distance again past. Another battle which I would like to draw your attention to is Squishy Panda, LGS and Jonah. That safety car period did help Squishy Panda. She is in a really comfortable 3rd position on track. And if I was her, I would be really, really proud. Because I don't think she has had front wing damage. Which is good to see at this moment in time. As we do have a safety car. We do have a safety car right now. What has caused that safety car? I think it might be the castle section. I'm not sure. So, I think some people could take the opportunity to pit. If I was them, maybe going on to the mediums would be the best strategy to use. And that's what Alfio has done. GC has done the same. What would Bobbers do? I think Bobbers is probably out of danger territory because he's not going to know what his rival does, whereas Tom and Squishy Panda will. Will Bobbers do the dummy? Bobbers does go into the pits. Tom does the same. And we are stuck in this DRS train. And unfortunately, VRC GC is out of the session. And unfortunately, I need to try and find out where it is on track. But his car is gone, so it's impossible to see. So everyone in the top 6 has pitted. Jonah and LGS, they're all going on to the medium tyres. And to be honest, it is a no-brainer for these guys to go on to the medium compounder tyre. And luckily, John Papp has rejoined the session again, which is great to see. So Bobbert still remains your race leader. The race order has not changed since before the safety car. The only ones that have not pitted is Casey and John. Casey, I think, would go for the mediums because he can catch up to the safety car. And don't forget the delta between the mediums and the hards, around about 6 tenths per lap. So you do not want to stay on these hard compounder tyres. So is Casey going to jump and go in? No, he does not. John Papp stays out as well. Obviously, John Papp is an AI. So, and he's ghosted too. So John Papp has got a lot more work to do. So, we are going to wait for the safety car to reconvene in a few laps' time. Because I think we will be waiting for the likes of, the Alpha, I think from P7 downwards. Or P6 downwards, actually. All the way down. Actually, no. P7 downwards all the way up down into P11. And the Deltas have just disappeared in my screen again, unfortunately. But again, it won't matter in the slightest right now. So, Bobberts has got a lot of work to do. Bobberts has led the safety car restart quite a few times, so it's not unfamiliar territory for him. And for Tom, he's used to being up there. Squishy Panda, though, she is in unfamiliar territory, but she's got a P2 in China, where it was quite difficult conditions for her. So never say never for the Williams. Any one of those top 6 drivers could still win. It's kind of like a lottery at this stage, but we have approached half distance at this moment in time, so we have got another 13 laps to go. Who's going to get their strategy call? Everybody is going to make it until the end of this race now with 13 laps to go. That is why everyone opted for the medium compounder tyres, knowing they can make it to the end. And with being on reduced pace on the safety car, you can push just a little bit longer on those medium tyres. Start to be a little bit more conservative at some points. Well, less conservative, I mean, as well. Let us know in the chat who you think is going to be winning this race. To be honest, if I do make predictions, I'm usually scared that I'm going to make them and get it wrong. So for these guys, it's just pure skill, trying to get a good run off the line, make sure they get the best restart they possibly can. Hopefully no damage into turn 2 this time, like we saw in the first lap, and then they should be all good. Maybe they've learnt from their mistakes as well in lap 1 and see, right, how am I going to do it so I don't have the same mistake? I think, obviously, John Pat and King Cotton, the 2 Red Bulls, they want to try and get rid of, they want to have less front, well, they want to have less front wing damage as possible. And we're down to 11 runners. So, basically, all it takes is just one retirement, and then everybody that finishes will score points. But I don't want any more retirements. And I do believe the safety car is still in. And again, and Tom had a little bit of a moment, or it might be just his internet. There was, I think, a few drivers that were complaining about Tom's internet issues. Or it might be just the game, I don't know. But well, I think it looked like it is Tom's internet issues. But the safety car is going to stay out for one more lap, because John Pat and KC have not caught up to the safety car queue. But it's not going to be that long. So grab your popcorn. We are going to be in for the last half of the race. Let us know what you're up to as well. As I just get also a sip of water as well. Just so I can get my throat, because it can get a little bit intense. So I just want to get myself plenty of fluids, obviously. Don't forget, next week we will be at Canada. I thought we were in Canada this week, but my mind was wrong. But we are in Baku tonight, but Canada next week. Probably a lot of people prefer Canada than Baku. I've got to say, I prefer it as a driver. But I wonder what these drivers will think. I think a few of these guys would like to get Baku out of the way. And don't forget, there's one more street circuit, proper street circuit, on the calendar, and that is Russia. But that is later on this season, so they're going to have to wait a while for that. I think into next year, I think, as well, as far as I'm aware. So I don't have the calendar saved, unfortunately, so I'm not able to tell you when Russia falls on the calendar. A lot of people getting heat into their tyres, because don't forget, they're on fresh mediums. Because if you don't warm up your tyres and just drive a little bit normally, then your tyres are going to be cold and you're not going to have the best of starts going into turn 1. So are we going to see the safety car come in this lap? We've got to. I think we're going to get to the point, I think, towards the end of this sector 2, I think we'll see the confirmation. And there we go. The safety car is in this lap. So Bobbitt's holding the field up early on. And he is the effective safety car at this moment. So he can go at whatever pace he wants. When will he choose to speed up? When he speeds up, that's it. He can't slow down again, because otherwise there will be consequences. So we will see what happens with SSR Bobbitt, as Tom likes to get the early getaway. Being caught napping at this moment in time, but here we go. We are about to go green. Don't forget, no overtaking until the start-finish straight into turn 1, and it's green flag racing here in Azerbaijan once again. Bobbitt holds on to that lead, but meanwhile we got Humperdinck and LGS going side by side. Humperdinck making all the way up into P5. LGS already losing ground, and that is not what you want. And I think he's going to lose ground to Alfio as well, making his way through the left-hand side. Alfio having a really good race so far. I think LGS might have had some front wing damage was why he's losing some time. But I'm not entirely sure. Or maybe he may be just losing some time on the medium compounder tyre. So LGS down in 8th position. Losing 2 positions from that safety car restart. That is not what you want. Amazed though. 9th position on track. Still on the cusp of getting points. But you will get points unless you are in 11th place. And you do not want to be the one in 11th place. There has been the record that George Russell has not gained a single point yet in real life. Obviously, everybody has scored points in this league already. But they want to score as many points as they possibly can here at AOR. Again, it's something to watch out for. Bobbett's now in the gap, 3/10 of a second. Still carrying on what they have done earlier on in this race. So we're going to see if Tom has the guts to go for the lunge, or is he going to wait for the next lap when DRS is enabled and LGS is going into the pit. So my theories were correct. Unfortunately, he did get some front wing damage. So he goes in to the pits, changing front wing and going on to the softs. Softs at this later stage, it's a bit risky. According to my tyre data, the softs only last 8 laps. So LGS may be wondering, maybe expecting another safety car perhaps. There was one league race I was actually running in China last season where I made pretty much the same mistake as LGS. I thought, you know what? Me going on the softs till the end would work fine. It didn't. The last 3 or 4 laps, my softs were hot, I was struggling for pace, and I nearly had a puncher. So, I think LGS is going to think some of the same face, and he's already having some lockup, so I think his tyres are not at a good condition already, and you may have seen his entry coming out of the pit lane was a bit unusual as well. So I think he's going to have an uphill struggle. He's got to find 20 seconds in about 9 laps or so. But never say never. Here we go then. Round number 2 of after the safety car period. Here comes Tom lounging, going for the attack. He's gaining. He's the prancing horse. Goes to the right-hand side. Bobbitt covers to the left. And he says, no thank you. You're not having that position. Bobbitt takes the lead once again. Or maybe Tom wants to stay within DRS, which is what he's going to do. But this second DRS strange is a lot difficult to overtake than the first. This DRS zone. So Tom goes to the left apex. Here he comes. And Tom takes the lead there. I think a wise move for Tom. Tom getting the move done as he sees fit. Jonah also joining in the fight as well. It will be interesting to see the amount of penalties that these drivers have got in this race, to see if it makes any difference. And if it does not make a difference, then at least he has tried his absolute best to get to the end of this Grand Prix and with a good podium position. So the ones that gained the most, I think, out of this safety car has got to be Squishy Panda. She did lose position to Jonah of the restart, but she's still within striking distance of a podium, and that's very, very important. And the race just goes like that, and you really want to be on your toes for pretty much the whole race. Humperdinck still catching as well, and Humperdinck can see his championship rival miles ahead right now. And he wants to try and get ahead very quickly, but the gaps are a bit impossible right now. But anything can happen in Formula 1 as Humperdinck tries to make the move onto the left, but Humperdinck is going to get the switch back. But if I was Humperdinck, I would do exactly the same to what Tom did. Stay behind, get the DRS. Because otherwise you're going to have the danger of losing the DRS, and you may lose 2 positions because of it. Because Alfio's catching. So here comes Humperdinck once again. Easy move done there. And Alfio, I think, wanted to stay behind Panda because obviously it would have been curtains, I think, for Alfio if he took a risky move there. So, great move from Humperdinck. Humperdinck is now up into 4th position. 1 position off a podium. Who do you think is going to be getting a podium here at Apex Online Racing for the Baku, well, the Azerbaijan Grand Prix? I almost called it the Baku Grand Prix. But there we go. We've got Alfio finding some pace, actually some good pace actually on those mediums. I think he was one of those people I actually was thinking before the safety car period. I was thinking Alfio was one of those drivers to benefit from that safety car period, and he wanted to benefit. He was hoping for the safety car. King Kont, another one of those drivers. King Kont getting a better entry here as well. Can Alfio get past Squishy Panda as well? Nope, he can't. And I think due to the fact that they're all stuck within a DRS train, they just can't get past at the moment, which is a bit of a shame at this moment in time. And we can definitely start to see who is the weak links. I think particularly the top 6 are not weak links. And Jonah has moved up into 2nd position in the DRS straight by the looks of things. I did not see that coming. I was following the Red Bulls. That was probably why I did not see that, unfortunately. And we can see a little bit of a slide there from Jonah as Jonah takes the race lead already, which is really, really insane. I think Bob has made a mistake there going into the castle section by the looks of things. I will probably have to look at the stream because I do apologise for missing that, but Jonah is your race leader. So this is turned into a 3-car battle for the race win. And this is going to get even more exciting. So watch out for all these top 3 to see what they can do. Robertson goes into the pits and he did get damage in the castle section. So that was why Jonah overtook him. So it's now turning into a 2-horse fight. That is unfortunate for him. Bobbert, who was looking to try and get the championship lead here tonight, as unfortunately it's gone through his fingers and is in 10th position. Maybe LGS could get some points. Now Casey can get some points. He's in 9th place. So both of the McLaren drivers, it's not been a good day. For Bobbers, it was a good day until that crash in the castle section. But it's looking like it's Jonas to lose right now. Humperdinck could still walk away with this race victory, as well as Squishy Panda as well. If you're watching PS4 F1 before this race, it was an epic final lap, according to sources. So I have a feeling we are going to see maybe exactly the same today. There was an epic battle as well in Xbox One F2 back in the day when I was commentating for Season 16. And it was a battle which went down to the wire. And it was a photo finish. It was amazing. And I swear to God, hopefully Tom can find the pace to try and stay within Jonah for the last 5 laps. This will be insane for them. But I think Roberts would be absolutely kicking himself for that mistake. But he's still winning a point. And at the end of the day, getting points is better than no points. And I think that's what Bobbers has got to take into consideration. And that is why he's keeping going, which is fair play to them. Hopefully no more retirements. And the ones that are still racing, for them it's a race of attrition. If they do survive until the end of this race, that is an achievement in itself. And I know a few people, I was watching a video on YouTube where someone was saying, would you have a 24-hour endurance in Baku? And it was discussed how many people would actually crash at the castle section. And I think quite a lot of people would be crashing in the castle section if it was an endurance race. But luckily, it's not an endurance race. Imagine if a league race would have done 100% here. I would probably never do a 100% race around Baku because I don't have the guts, and I don't like the track to drive. But obviously these guys have more guts than me. That's why they are in Xbox One F1, and that is why I'm in the commentary box. So here we go then. Tom getting the run very comfortably before even the DRS zone. Actually, just after. So Tom takes your race lead. It's going to be very, very close. Tom, unfortunately, had the bad run there, but Jonah, unfortunately, could not get it done. They're going to go side by side here. Jonah's going to get the DRS. Jonah has less DRS than Tom, I believe. Actually, Tom has hardly any. So this is Jonah's advantage. This is Jonah's opportunity to pounce. There was a bit of lag from Tom, and he's unfortunately had a bit of an off there. I think his lag, unfortunately, just costed him a little bit. Jonah is going to be potentially getting his first race victory, and is going to climb up a lot of positions in this championship. It's going to be potentially going to be 4th place. So now the battle for the race win is between Jonah and Humperdinck. Who would have thought it? Humperdinck will potentially be extending his championship lead. Could Humperdinck get his 2nd race win in a row? He would definitely want that. He was in the Mercedes last season that helped won the Constructors' Championship with Pancakes, of course, so unfortunately can't make it tonight. But with Humperdinck, he wants the victory. The more victories he gets, the closer he actually gets to taking this championship. Not long to go. 3 more laps to go after this one. Anything can happen. All it takes is just for one person to make a mistake. Let's see what Humperdinck does right now going into turn 1. Oh, a little bit late on the brakes there for Humperdinck, but he's getting a little bit more speed as well. But look has also come to join the battle. We got Squishy Panda and King Kont having a little bit of a ding-dong battle as well. And look at this. John Pap, after having a miserable start, is all the way back in the action, up into P5. 1 position below where he started, but don't forget he was last at the start of the race after his unfortunate incident. So he is having an amazing comeback drive to do this, and if he stays like that, he is probably gonna get one of my votes for driver of the day without a shadow of a doubt. It just goes to show, do not give up, and this is a man, John Pap, that doesn't give up. And as I said that, I think someone lost a bit of an end plate, and I'm a bit worried that it is John Pap. So I think it's probably the worst one of the worst commentators' curses I've ever seen. But we'll have to wait and see. Right now, the gap's still close. If anyone gets a time penalty, it's going to cost them. The closest battle on track we've got is between King Kont and Squishy Panda. Squishy Panda could get another podium. She's finding every ounce to potentially catch up to the top 2 as well. The race victory is still within our grasp, but King Kont seems like that he wants that race victory even more. He gets past Squishy Panda. I think the setup is more geared to King Kong. Jump up though. I think the end play damage is not hurting him whatsoever. I kind of wish there was a few more laps of this race because this is nail-biting stuff for everybody. So make sure you watch out for the final laps. Grab your popcorn. And Humperdinck, I think, is going to be saving his ERS until the last possible moment. King Kong, unfortunately, can't catch up to these two. So that is why Squishy Panda is in a perfect position. She has got DRS. So is John Pap. Alfio could come back as well. Tom is within this, and so is Amazed. But I think with the likes of Bobbers and Casey and LGS, they unfortunately will probably start to lose it. Casey had nothing to lose, so he's gone onto the soft tyres. And he's going to try and get the fastest lap of this Grand Prix. Which I think is the best move for him at the moment. LGS unfortunately could do the same, but we'll have to wait and see. The top three within DRS now. King Kong definitely finding some pace. He was saving it for the final lap. So we got 3 cars fighting for this now for the win. I hope neither of these guys do not have penalties because otherwise this will ruin this. But this is going to shape up to be another close finish for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. The last time I've commentated on a close finish in Baku was in Xbox One F2 in Season 16. Unfortunately, John Mapp has retired after his amazing comeback drive. Unfortunately, has not done well. Tom has had a little bit of an issue as well. He's dropped back down to 6th. Alfio getting past him very well as well. This is the last time they're going to go past this DRS straight then. Humperdinck can't get past. What about King Kong? He can't get past either. All 3 running in tandem. They're making little to no mistakes right now. All it takes is for someone to make that mistake, and that can change the outcome of this race. So here they go then. They're going to be approaching the castle section potentially really, really soon. Going in towards turn 8 and 9, and then towards turn 10 and 11. All the top 3 making it through the castle section completely fine. Squishy Panda dropping off a little bit. I think because she had less slipstream, but still, a P4 is going to be impressive for her. Who is going to be the one to blink? They're just all so close. I just don't know who is going to win. So they're going to go towards the final sector now, in towards turn 16. Who is going to have the drive? Humperdinck and King Kong has got to take the risks here. Or are they just going to stay behind? I'm riding on board with King Kong at the moment. King Kong and Humperdinck is going to have the benefit of the DRS. King Kong might take the risk here. We don't know. It may be a photo finish, but it's not going to be the finish we're hoping. Jonah comes across the line. He takes his first win in AOR. Well done to him. Humperdinck gets P2. And he extends his lead in the Drivers' Championship with King Kong in 3rd, Tom in 4th. But look at the gap between 4th and 5th. 7 thousandths of a second. Insane. And Alfio in 6th. Amaze getting 7th. Bobbers in 8th. Casey and LGS will be the last people to come across the line. And they will get the last point. And what a heartbreak for John Mapp. He was on for a 5th or even a 4th place. I don't think he had any penalties. He would be on for a really good finish here today. But sometimes that's what happens in racing. Tom, unfortunately, he started on pole. But unfortunately, he could not win. But the win belongs to an Alfa Romeo driver. And that is the amazing Jonah. His best finish was P4. Actually, no, P3 in China. And he did 2 places better here today with the race victory. So well done to them. A few people pretty disappointed with their results. They feel like they could have won today. But sometimes, Baku, sometimes it just catches people. You never know. And maybe the safety car may not have helped some of these drivers here today. But we'll have to wait and see. But Jonah is your well-deserving victory. King Kont gets driver of the day in-game. And I've got to say, I've got to agree with. He was one of the other people that had troubles off the start line and came back to get on the podium. So well done to him. He's going to be pretty happy with that. So here are your race results then. Jonah takes the victory. Humperdinck in second. King Kont in third. Tom in fourth. Squishy Panda in fifth. Alfio in sixth. Amaze seventh. Bobbers eighth. KC ninth. And LGS being your last of your points finishers. And your retirements are John Papp, GC, Alex Agu, and Hawk. That has been the 8th round of the Xbox One F1 season for Season 20 on Apex Online Racing. We hope you join us next week, same time, at 8 PM UK time for the Canadian Grand Prix, which definitely brings some action. One of my favourite tracks on the calendar. Who does not like Canada? And it's one of those tracks where I could definitely bring the two-stop strategy. I think the two-stop strategy is a lot faster. I've seen it as a driver. I've seen it as a commentator as well. So something to watch out for in the race to come next week. Can Humperdinck continue his good form as of late? Can he extend his championship lead? We'll find out next week. I've been Jess Games 95. Have a good rest of your evening. And we'll see you same time next week for the Canadian Grand Prix. Have a good evening, everybody. And good night.